All right, people. Your host, Cy Smith, coming to you from the office. It is Thursday, Health Day, June 1st. And I wanted to shoot this video to talk about the test, the need for the test in order to stop the violence in Chicago. If we do it in Chicago, it will work across the nation. So here's the deal. And I'm grading myself on this because I've been wrestling with this for about 90 days, every single day, trying to put this together. So I am in a position that is unique. And it's unique because of the fact that God allowed me to put this network together. Now, dealing with people, you have to be humble and you have to be understanding because our people are all over the place in terms of what's going on in our households and in our lives. And if you're not careful, people won't get together and work together. So I just want to put that out as a prelude. Here's the deal. We have 108 areas in Chicago organized. I need to stress this. 108 areas in Chicago organized. What does that mean? That means we have 108 positions for people to play a role in turning Chicago around. Let me give you some scale. There's 20 zip codes in Chicago where black people are the dominant group, ethnic group. That includes every single last one of those 20 zip codes. So inside those 20 zip codes, imagine 5 areas inside each of those zip codes we have. 5 times 20 is 100. You add 8 more to that. So that's the capacity, that's the scale in Chicago organized. And we have people in all 108 right now. Now, just because you have people, you know people, don't mean that they're working together. Give you a little background. I was in the Navy. The Navy, before the ships went overseas for war, or not war, just being there as a deterrence, the ship's captain has to report to the admiral and to the Secretary of Defense if the ship is ready for war. And so it takes upwards of 90 days to take the ship and its crew and stress them, run that ship and make sure that it won't break down overseas. So run the crew, work long hours, make sure they can handle and have the endurance to make it. So it must pass the test of readiness. Now, the definition, Webster definition of test is a procedure to establish the quality or reliability of something prior to its widespread use or availability. So before it goes widespread, let's test it. Just like I just said, the ship must be tested before it goes in harm's way. Now, we talk about the murders, over 230 murders in Chicago already, and we're at the 180-day mark. So, a murder a day in Chicago. No other city is experiencing that. Birmingham has 46 murders right now. We're at 230 something. All right, so a lot of groups doing and focusing on anti-violence. And we need people being active because whether they say anti-violence or not, are you positive? And if you're positive, are you in the life of other people? That's what needs to happen. Now, even if you have that happening and Chicago has it, it's not enough. And it won't be enough because without changing the infrastructure in Chicago, we're going to have good people doing good stuff in different parts of those 20 neighborhoods. So you got wonderful people leading great organizations in every neighborhood. Still not enough because what we're dealing with will require some super coordination. That's where we come in at. This is a military model made for civilians. So let me backtrack. Do we know what we have? We have a block by block infrastructure that covers 108 areas. We have that right now. When I say we, National Block Club University, but we want to give this to the whole city to use. Do you know what you're up against? What we're up against in our community is a division that allowed this murder to just continue to manifest. You have non-for-profits doing what they do. You have the religious community doing what they do. You have the Democratic political party doing what they do. And then you have the sororities, fraternities, and motorcycle groups. So you have a lot of people doing what they do. Nothing is keeping all of that coordinated. So it's a bunch of silos doing what it does and haven't worked so far. So here we come, block by block. And what we're saying is, how do we connect all the dots of everyone doing good and positive together with the people on the block who's not active? And what I'm saying is, we must have a price tag on that. Well, how much does that cost to run the test? How much does it cost for us to turn this thing around in the city? And I put, as the chairman and CEO of this National Block Club University, I put the price tag when I announced that we wanted to raise $100,000. I detailed where that money was going to go. But I want you to know the 108 areas, in order for us to run the first test and see where we are, it will cost us $3,000. So for $3,160 to be exact, we in Chicago will be able to run the first test citywide. Now, if you're an organization, if you're a church, right now is the time to say, let's see if we can run this test that he's talking about. Now is not the time to say, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, because what that ultimately does, it just says that it's all about your agenda versus a broader agenda. If we're saying we have every single black neighborhood with people in those neighborhoods already organized, and you have a side of town, why not work together so that we can run this test and see if we can deal with this violence? $3,000 is nothing for us to run this test, but that's the price tag. So if I had the $100,000 we wanted to get today, I would still run this test of this $3,160 to see where we're at. I'm going to pause right there, and I'm going to come back because I'm at the 7-minute mark, and I don't want the video to be too long. Thank you.